Reaching the age of 70 is a significant milestone, a time when many individuals are ready to embrace a new phase in life. It's often a time of reflection, when the wisdom gathered over decades of living can provide clarity about what truly matters. As we age, we accumulate not just physical possessions, but emotional and mental burdens that may have once served a purpose but no longer serve us. The process of shedding these unnecessary weights, whether they are material, emotional, or mental, can be incredibly liberating. It allows for a clearer focus on what brings joy and fulfillment, and for many, it marks the beginning of a fresh, purposeful chapter. Letting go is not always easy, especially after decades of holding on to things, relationships, and responsibilities. Yet, the rewards of decluttering your life, physically, emotionally, and mentally, are vast. If you're in your 70s or beyond, now is the perfect time to take stock and evaluate what still serves your happiness and well-being, and what might be holding you back from living more fully. The weight of physical clutter, clearing space for a peaceful life. One of the most tangible areas to begin is physical clutter. Over the years, homes can become filled with an accumulation of belongings, items collected over decades of living. These possessions often hold emotional significance, representing memories, milestones, and the passage of time. However, as we age, the sheer volume of things we own can become a source of stress, anxiety, and even health complications. Studies have shown that the average person accumulates over 300,000 items in their lifetime. As we enter our 70s, these items can become overwhelming. The emotional attachment we have to objects can sometimes make it difficult to part with them, even when they no longer serve a practical purpose. For instance, that old china set from a wedding decades ago, or the collection of books we've been meaning to read but never get to, may seem harmless, but they can silently weigh us down. Research from the Princeton Neuroscience Institute reveals that physical clutter can impact our ability to focus and even elevate our stress levels. It triggers the body's stress response, raising cortisol levels, which can contribute to feelings of anxiety and agitation. Additionally, clutter can lead to health complications, including difficulty finding things, which may cause frustration or physical hazards like tripping over scattered items. Decluttering as a path to freedom. Letting go of unnecessary possessions isn't just about tidying up. It's about creating space for a renewed sense of purpose and peace. This process is deeply transformative and has numerous benefits, both mentally and physically. For example, consider the case of Mr. Long, a retired teacher in his 70s. His home was filled with books, teaching materials, and mementos from his 40-year career. As he approached retirement, he realized the clutter in his home was causing him to feel mentally and physically stifled. He decided to embark on a journey of decluttering, starting with the attic, where decades of teaching materials and old books had accumulated. Over the course of several months, he donated 50 boxes of books to local schools, passed down old teaching tools to younger educators, and discarded items that no longer held sentimental value. The results were profound. Mr. Long reported feeling renewed and free. His home now reflected the simplicity and peace he had been seeking in his retirement. This process of decluttering had not only lightened his physical environment, but also his emotional state. Practical tips for decluttering. If you find yourself overwhelmed by the prospect of decluttering, start small. It's easy to get discouraged if you try to tackle everything at once. Focus on one area at a time, perhaps a drawer or a closet. Ask yourself the following questions. Does this item bring me joy? Does it serve a purpose in my life today? If the answer is no, it's time to let it go. To help further streamline the process, consider sorting items into 3 categories: donate, recycle, or discard. Items that are still in good condition but no longer needed can be donated to charity. Old papers or magazines can often be recycled, and broken or damaged items should be discarded. It's also important to set a schedule for decluttering, rather than setting aside an entire weekend, which can feel overwhelming. Dedicate 15 to 30 minutes each day to sorting through belongings. These small, consistent efforts will yield significant results over time. Toxic relationships. Releasing emotional burdens. In addition to physical clutter, emotional baggage can also weigh heavily on us as we age. One of the most common sources of emotional stress is toxic relationships. Over the years, we accumulate relationships, some nurturing and supportive, others marked by conflict, negativity, or resentment. As we enter our 70s, it's essential to reassess these relationships and determine whether they still contribute to our well-being or whether they drain our energy and cause unnecessary stress. Scientific research consistently shows that toxic relationships are harmful to our health. According to the American Psychological Association, these relationships, whether with family, friends, or acquaintances, can elevate stress levels, weaken the immune system, and contribute to chronic health issues such as heart disease, diabetes, and depression. Furthermore, the Journal of Aging and Health has found that negative social interactions increase the risk of developing mental health conditions, including anxiety and depression, particularly in older adults. Letting go of toxic relationships isn't always as simple as cutting someone off completely. Sometimes it's about setting healthy boundaries and recognizing when a relationship is no longer serving your mental and emotional health. Signs of toxic relationships. Toxic relationships often manifest in subtle ways. While some may be overtly negative or abusive, many toxic relationships are more insidious and may not be immediately recognized. Here are some common types of toxic relationships to look out for. The constant complainer. This person is always seeking your ear to vent, but rarely shows interest in your life or well-being. They are perpetually negative, and their emotional exhaustion can begin to weigh you down as well. The critical family member. A family member who constantly undermines your decisions or belittles your achievements. They rarely offer support or encouragement, which can make you feel inadequate or unworthy. The indifferent acquaintance. These individuals may not be overtly hostile, but their lack of interest in your life or emotional needs can leave you feeling invisible or undervalued. Setting boundaries and protecting your peace. Letting go of toxic relationships may require setting clear and healthy boundaries. This doesn't necessarily mean severing ties completely, but it involves limiting the time and emotional energy you invest in relationships that drain you. For example, you might decide to only interact with a toxic individual for short periods or steer conversations toward more neutral topics. If the relationship has the potential for growth, having an honest and compassionate conversation about how their behavior affects you might open the door to understanding. Be gentle yet assertive in expressing your feelings and needs. Spending more time with supportive, uplifting individuals who appreciate you can provide a sense of belonging and joy. These relationships should leave you feeling valued, loved, and emotionally nourished. To the power of emotional freedom. Letting go of toxic relationships allows for emotional freedom. It's a form of self-care that enables you to focus on what truly matters: your happiness, peace, and mental well-being. It also fosters a higher sense of self-worth, as you recognize that you deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift and support you. Research shows that positive relationships are linked to better health outcomes, including lower stress levels and longer life expectancy. By freeing yourself from toxic connections, you create space for more positive energy and meaningful interactions. Unnecessary responsibilities. Reclaiming your time and energy. As we age, we often carry the weight of responsibilities that were once essential but may no longer serve us. In our younger years, we juggle careers, family obligations, and social commitments. These roles define who we are and how we contribute to the world. However, as we enter our 70s, it's time to ask, are these responsibilities still bringing me joy, or have they become burdens? Responsibilities such as managing a large home or garden, taking care of family matters, or maintaining traditions can become exhausting as we age. While it's natural to want to continue helping and being there for loved ones, it's equally important to evaluate whether these obligations are still fulfilling or if they're taking a toll on your peace of mind and energy. Letting go of burdens. Letting go of unnecessary responsibilities doesn't mean abandoning your loved ones or neglecting your duties. It's about redefining your role and prioritizing your time and energy for what matters most to you. For example, if managing a large home has become more of a chore than a source of pride, consider downsizing to a more manageable living space. This will allow you to enjoy your surroundings without the constant pressure of upkeep. If family members rely on you too heavily, it's okay to set boundaries. Encourage them to take on more responsibility for their own lives. This doesn't mean you don't care. It simply means that you are choosing to care for yourself as well. The rewards of reclaiming your time. By letting go of unnecessary responsibilities, you can free yourself to focus on what truly brings you joy. You'll find that you have more time and energy for hobbies, relationships, and experiences that nurture your soul. Letting go of burdens allows you to embrace life more fully, without the weight of obligations dragging you down. In the end, shedding unnecessary responsibilities is not only an act of self-care, it's a way to reclaim your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. The freedom of letting go of unnecessary responsibilities. Imagine waking up in the morning with the gentle sunlight filtering through your curtains, the soft rustle of leaves outside your window, and the quiet promise of a day without a long list of obligations hanging over your head. Picture the luxury of not being burdened by an endless string of to-do lists, meetings, or errands that consume your time and energy. In this moment, you have the freedom to choose how to spend your time. You could savor a warm cup of tea while reading a book you've been meaning to finish. Perhaps you might step outside and take a leisurely walk in the park, letting the fresh air fill your lungs and the rhythm of your footsteps center your mind. Or you could enjoy a spontaneous coffee date with a close friend, reconnecting over shared memories and laughter. As you let go of unnecessary responsibilities, you give yourself permission to fully embrace these moments without the constant nagging feeling of tasks left undone. The beauty of life after 70 is that it can be a celebration of everything you've achieved, and more importantly, an opportunity to revel in the joy that still lies ahead. This phase of life need not feel like a continuation of endless tasks and obligations. Instead, it can be a time of rediscovery and renewal, a time where your energy is devoted not to what needs to be done, but to what truly nourishes your soul. By relinquishing those duties that no longer serve you, you open the door to a simpler, more fulfilling existence. This shift isn't merely a practical decision. It is a gift you've more than earned over the years. It's a gift of reclaiming your time, your peace of mind, and your sense of freedom. With fewer demands pulling at you, the possibilities of what you can do with your time become more vivid. Instead of being a slave to a calendar filled with obligations, you become the master of your own schedule, choosing activities that bring you joy and satisfaction. Imagine having the luxury of time to explore new hobbies, nurture relationships, or simply be present in the moment without the pressure of a ticking clock. This is not about being idle or disengaged, but about finding a rhythm that feels organic and purposeful. It's about savoring life's smaller moments, the ones that may have passed by unnoticed in years gone by. By embracing this newfound freedom, you not only create space for joy, but also for reflection. You can look back on your life with gratitude for all you've done and all you've experienced, knowing that your future holds even more opportunities for fulfillment. releasing negative self-talk and regrets. As you reach your 70s, life offers a rare and precious gift: the ability to reflect on the rich tapestry of your experiences. The joys, the challenges, the triumphs, and the missteps all come together to shape the person you've become. But in this phase of life, it's common to be haunted by lingering regrets or negative self-talk that clouds the clarity of this reflection. These inner voices, often critical and harsh, can prevent you from fully embracing the peace and self-compassion you deserve. Regrets, in particular, have a way of creeping into our consciousness. They are like silent shadows, following us through life even when everything around us seems bright. Perhaps you find yourself thinking about missed opportunities, dreams left unfulfilled, or paths you didn't take. You may ponder what could have been if only you had made different choices. These moments of what if often replay in your mind, fueled by the belief that things could have been perfect had you just acted differently. But life is not about perfection. It's about growth. It's about learning from each experience, embracing the person you've become as a result, and appreciating the wisdom and resilience that have shaped you. Negative self-talk can be an even greater thief of joy. It whispers harsh criticisms, like a constant inner monologue. I should have done better. I didn't try hard enough. Or, I don't deserve happiness because of what I've done. These thoughts often go unchallenged, silently weaving themselves into the fabric of your self-perception. But ask yourself, would you ever speak to a loved one with such cruelty? Why then speak that way to yourself? You've lived a life filled with courage, navigating both the joys and the hardships that have tested your character. You have earned the right to treat yourself with the same compassion and forgiveness that you offer others. Forgiveness isn't about pretending that mistakes never happened or dismissing their impact. It's about choosing to release the burden of guilt and self-blame. It's an act of liberation, allowing yourself to move forward with a lighter heart, free from the weight of should have and could have. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, celebrate the courage it took to make decisions, even when the outcomes weren't perfect. Recognize that each choice, each misstep, contributed to the person you are today. You have gained wisdom, strength, and resilience through every challenge you faced, and these qualities are worth celebrating. Reframing the narrative is key. Reflect on how these experiences have shaped you in ways that make you stronger and more compassionate. Embrace the fact that regret anchors you to the past, while negative self-talk blinds you to the possibilities of today. This is where mindfulness practices can help. Whether through journaling, meditation, or simply sitting quietly in nature, you can find ways to connect with the present moment. By allowing yourself to be fully present, you create space for peace and contentment to grow. This process of self-compassion and self-forgiveness isn't about ignoring the past, but about releasing its hold on your future. Breaking free from unhealthy habits. As the years pass, we accumulate knowledge about what nourishes our bodies and minds. By the time you've reached your 70s, your body has carried you through decades of experiences, both the highs and the lows, and now it asks for care and attention in return. However, unhealthy habits that we justify or ignore can quietly erode our vitality and joy. These habits don't always manifest in obvious ways like poor diet, lack of exercise, or inadequate sleep. They can also show up in the ways we engage with the world emotionally and mentally. For instance, skipping meals or relying on processed convenience foods may seem harmless in the moment, but over time, these choices can have a significant impact on your health. Similarly, staying sedentary due to discomfort or fear of injury can prevent your body from staying strong and flexible. Neglecting regular medical checkups can also be an unconscious form of neglect that can leave you vulnerable to preventable health issues. These are the physical habits, but there are also emotional and mental habits to consider. Holding on to worry, constantly engaging with negative news cycles, or isolating yourself from others can impact your overall well-being just as much as poor diet or lack of exercise. The beauty of life at this stage is that change is always possible, no matter how long a particular habit has been ingrained in your routine. The process of breaking free from unhealthy habits requires self-compassion and patience. It's not about making dramatic overnight changes, but about celebrating the small victories along the way. For instance, instead of skipping breakfast, you might begin the day with something simple and nourishing, like oatmeal or fresh fruit. Rather than staying seated all day, take time to stretch or go for a short walk. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through the news, you could redirect that time to listening to uplifting music, reading a book, or reaching out to a friend. As you make these changes, remember that the goal isn't perfection, but progress. Small adjustments over time can have a profound impact on your health and well-being. Moreover, seeking support from healthcare professionals or loved ones can make this journey easier. A doctor, a nutritionist, a physical therapist, or even a friend who's willing to walk with you can help you stay on track. Imagine the freedom that comes from taking control of your health. Picture yourself waking up each day with more energy, feeling stronger and more capable of enjoying the activities that bring you joy. As you embrace healthier habits, you're not just extending your life, you're enriching its quality, ensuring that every moment is lived with vitality, gratitude, and joy. Letting go of outdated beliefs. Throughout life, we accumulate beliefs, both conscious and unconscious, that shape our understanding of the world and guide our decisions. However, as we age, some of these beliefs may no longer serve us. In our 70s, it's an ideal time to reflect on these long-held notions and evaluate whether they are still aligned with the person we have become or the life we wish to live moving forward. Outdated beliefs can take many forms. For example, you might hold the belief that aging necessarily means decline, or that you're too old to learn something new. Perhaps you've internalized societal expectations, like always putting others' needs ahead of your own, or avoiding change because it feels too disruptive. These beliefs may have provided structure or security earlier in life, but they can also act as invisible barriers to growth and joy. Letting go of outdated beliefs isn't about rejecting your past, but about honoring the wisdom you've gained over the years and using it to create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. At any age, you have the power to question and reshape the beliefs that guide your life. This process involves recognizing that the stories we tell ourselves often reflect limitations that no longer serve us. For instance, if you've believed that you're too old to learn technology, challenge that thought. Many people in their 70s and beyond have embraced smartphones, social media, and even online learning to stay engaged and connected. Releasing outdated beliefs also means embracing the unknown. Growth and discovery don't end with age, they evolve. There's always more to learn, more to experience, and more to contribute. Whether it's trying a new hobby, meeting people from different generations, or reevaluating what happiness means to you, allowing yourself to break free from old limitations opens up new possibilities. The liberation that comes with replacing thoughts like "I can't" with "I'll try," or "it's too late" with "now is the perfect time," is profound. This shift in mindset fosters a renewed sense of purpose and excitement for what lies ahead. By letting go of outdated beliefs, you make room for a life that is not dictated by past ideas, but one that is driven by curiosity, possibility, and the joy of living fully in the present. Financial worries that no longer apply. By the time you've reached your 70s, you've likely spent much of your life managing finances with care and discipline. You've saved for the future, made sacrifices, and thought long and hard about every decision involving money. Perhaps these habits were born out of necessity during times of financial struggle, or when raising a family or planning for retirement. But as you enter this phase of life, it's essential to reassess whether these financial worries still apply. Many of the financial concerns that once felt so urgent may no longer be relevant. You may find yourself hesitating to spend money on things that bring you joy or comfort, simply because of ingrained habits of frugality. Perhaps you feel guilty about using savings, even though those funds were set aside specifically for this time in your life. Financial worries can linger long after the need for them has passed, whispering fears of what-ifs. What if there's an emergency? What if I run out? What if I become a burden? The truth is, you've worked hard throughout your life to ensure that you're secure, and now is the time to enjoy the fruits of that labor. The savings, the investments, the careful planning, all of it was meant to give you peace of mind in your later years. Letting go of these old financial anxieties allows you to embrace the freedom of spending without guilt, knowing that you have prepared for this moment. Whether it's treating yourself to a vacation, investing in something that brings you happiness, or simply indulging in a new hobby, giving yourself permission to enjoy your resources can be one of the most liberating aspects of aging. In this stage of life, the focus should shift from accumulation to enjoyment, allowing you to experience the fullness of your efforts without the fear that drove your decisions in earlier years.